The Galactic Federation's Luciferian Alliance. The Luciferian Anunnaki collectives made further agreements with those that have been tasked by the Sirian Council to help protect the planetary stargates, and for the developing and evolving angelic human races. This is the particular group which is the Galactic Federation. The Anunnaki members that were established in the Galactic Federation wanted to join and gain control over the Giza Stargate and expand their expedition beyond their current access levels in order to claim more territory in the outer domain for themselves. Thus, it was the members of the Galactic Federation in alliance with the Thothian groups that were the primary factions responsible for the total destruction and cataclysms that ensued, which thrust the planet back into the Dark Age. It was orchestrated agenda of an intentional angelic human genocide. Further, they have been responsible for directly concealing the knowledge of this fact through the continual manipulation and intentional falsification of written history and the purposeful eradication of human historical records that reveal genuine existence of the Atlantean colonies and the highly advanced technologies that they had in the commonplace in human society during that timeline. The true and accurate hidden historical records provide that scientific and factual evidence for the direct involvement of these non-terrestrial Luciferian groups, in which they banded together as the Snake Brotherhood Kings during the Atlantis times. They made a secret pact called the Luciferian Covenant, the Fallen Angelic Covenant, and for the purpose of the total annihilation of historical timelines and cellular memories of humanity, to wipe out all records of highly technological human civilizations that were naturally evolving and advancing human consciousness to the point where there would be no more authentic human culture. The eradication of all the technology, memories, histories, and our identities during the advanced civilization of Atlantean colonies here on Earth. It is a conspiracy enacted through the blood covenant made with the Illuminati hybrid humans that make up the power elite, and that is the answer to the Luciferian Thothian groups. The destruction that the Thothian groups and the Galactic Federation have caused multiple millions of years ago. The Galactic Federation worked closely with the High Sirian Council to serve the Guardian race that would help support the seeding and evolution process of the planet Earth in its lowest density, hence creating the Adam and Eve, our bodies. The first harmonic universe, also called the third dimensional timelines. About 50,000 years ago, the Great Pyramid of Giza was built as a harmonic resonator chamber within an interdimensional portal system in which visiting spacecrafts would come time travel and access Earth plane very quickly through that wormhole travel of the Pyramid Giza Gate. Especially if some kind of intervention was needed, it also marked the location of the Stargate and access to inner Earth. During the cycle in which the Great Pyramid was built of the pre-Atlantean times, the Galactic Federation was tasked to protect the Stargate portal and the Ascension Chamber within it, and not to intervene in case of the attack from hostile intruders such as the Anunnaki resistance. However, the true intention behind the involvement of building and maintaining these technologies on Earth, most important Stargate, was to be exploited for full domination agenda carried out by the Thothian Luciferian groups. They weaponized the New Age. During the Ascension cycle, many have gathered and to find out the truth, to reveal true memories in our accurate history. And this is why we're here. And we have been stolen from humanity. And to find exactly who is accountable for these tragic events which the minds, identities, and spiritual bodies of the souls of planet Gaia Tara have been absconded, have been obliterated with damage and used here and put us in a consciousness prison. The prison acts as an energetic farm in which to power the assortment of artificial realities for a gang of psychopathic and parasitic bullies. As the Luciferian, Thothian, Anunnaki, and Galactic Federation, along with the unholy alliance made with an assortment of neighboring intruders, non-terrestrial groups that are willing to participate in the galactic human slave trade and barter of the Earth's resources. For these organized groups that serve the Thothian, Luciferian, Galactic Federation and related negative alien agendas their most important goal was to ensure the majority of Earth humans would not awaken and realize what was happening and that they were in a consciousness prison, that we are in a consciousness prison. Thus, it is very important to relay information that would divert people away from remembering what has truly happened to them. And now that we're here, and now it ended up in a mind control prison. Thus, the militarization of the psychological warfare tactics was intended as an umbrella to cover up unapproved topics that were surfacing as the result of the shift in consciousness happening during the ascension cycle. The topics of New Age ascension and disclosure was largely considered taboo, and the controlled press and mainstream media didn't even touch it. It's still untouchable. Untouchable means that if any prominent person makes a public statement on this topic, that is considered untouchable. No matter if it's accurate and honest, that person will be crucified publicly and threatened privately. They will potentially lose their career, status, standing in their community among their groups of peers looking like fools, and the current terrain, global mind control, ridicule of the negative ego, which was the most potent weapon enforcing the negative ego program on us. And it was used in every organization and industry, including spiritual communities, which can be some of the worst offenders. This is basic principle of psychological warfare. If someone is out to step with a controlled narrative, and the public about these views are trying to be exposed, then that person is subjected to the economic and social terrorism, in which they will personally be ostracized, accused, and penalized for their personal views. Nonetheless, the awakening groups and concerned citizens that are interested in exploring one of the more untouchable topics, are here to form their own side in alternative media movements such as the UFO MUFON. Together, QAnon and the New Age Ascension disclosure movements, many of the communities were organized around this topic, and they were arranged to be independent journalists and experiencers that controlled mainstream would never ever listen to, and label them conspiracy theorists. This is used as a derogatory term, and the media are here for the ideas of the crazy people, because who listens to this, right? Nobody even knows. Use of the term conspiracy theories used to undermine any dissent and questioning of the live stream. These mainstream narratives, and to methodically terminate any and all access to public media outlets or online social platforms that are being organized by those groups are seeking these untouchable topics into larger public debate. When one experiences direct threats and attack from the dark portal humans and dark forces for merely opening a respectful and compassionate dialogue about any of these untouchable subjects, the first reaction can be a shock and confusion. For this experience, it becomes clear that we are not free and that we live in a consciousness pen. Anyone that does not believe this should try to talk about the subjects openly and see what kind of environment, they'll be able to bring this up in, and watch what happens. Many of these alternative movements have leaders by default that rise into the meteoric online public status and go viral multiple social platforms to implode from that completely being extinguished, going down in flames in just a few years. So what happened? The basic principles of psychological warfare: divide and conquer. From there, the infiltration, intelligence, and the leadership with delusional of grandeur and negative ego and lack of discernment and awareness, controlled opposition in play, designed and destroy the organizational tenets on which the community's movement have been founded. There are no incidents and nothing is random. The Dark Task Force is highly organized and very efficient. They will attack the weakest links in all areas, including those you love and are the most vulnerable, such as your partners, children, and pets. Most of these people are unaware of the extent of the grid damage occurring on the planetary body and the soul fracturing. It is almost impossible to gain accurate details. It's a fractal truth, and the record of the planetary brain is the historical timeline. No one can exactly disclose what is happening at a specific date. It is impossible during these cycles when traveling in 0 point and simultaneous spiral time. Humanity has to go through holographic pieces of the light body and reassemble them in concurred and corrected positions in order to reframe it with actual historic evidence according to the consciousness life stream, which they purposely deleted out of our memories. Our consciousness and experiences have never been erased. The content is shared through rehabilitation of the planet's brain as we reassemble, and claim our spiritual body parts and ascend. The Earth has been subjected to electroshock Hold on, I think there's UFO flying outside of my house. They've been flying outside my house for the past couple weeks, no joke. The Earth has been subjected to electroshock mind control methods and energetic implants and administered to suppress the entire population, along with artificial realities being projected into multiple reality holographs. Recorded with false histories and false timelines, this means that to extract the artificial reality and remove the artificial intelligence holograms in order to see what's false in this reality of human conscious experience. This means no one has all the pieces in truth. The human race must come together and unify in order to spiritually heal. Right now, we are so separate that we are just not at all in the right mind state. While we're being completely overtaken, once again, we must be willing to dig deep and hard within to find the nuggets of truth buried in our conscious bodies. While we navigate the soup of negative alien infiltration, obfuscation, and mind-controlled confusion, keeping humanity confused and depleted is a psychological warfare strategy known as confusion principle tactic, to spread mass lies mixed in with bits of truth in order to confound the population and confuse them, to have them, divide and conquered. Cultivating a culture where there is no principles. One feels like no one can trust each other, and they cannot have resemblance of discerning what the truth is and what is lies. Everybody has their own false truth and false narrative that they're following, but nobody knows what they're fucking talking about. The confusion has stolen our true spiritual identity, and it renders us blind to the awareness of the current war raging over human consciousness that is happening behind the veil on the world stage. It became clear that the ascension cycle in early 2000 years ago where more friendly enemy deals were made. This allowed the Thothian groups to expand their sources towards directly targeting awakening starseeds and indigos, as well as begin to infiltrate and hijack the growing New Age movement. As the platinum ray of higher frequency transmissions were streaming over the planet grid, simultaneously the Thothian groups and the Galactic Federation crew came to oversee the entire New Age channeling movement, in which the transmissions were intercepted and infiltration as a foe. Greeting teams from the supposedly friendly ETs, the heads of the secret space programs joined in their versions, attempting to infiltrate key whistleblowers and accurate information that revealed the MyLab programs and involvement of the galactic slave trade. Right now, the government is saying there's going to be first contact. That means infiltration once again through the consent of a new cycle. And now we will be turned into androids, and we will be serving as a space force, as their little soldiers for the expansion of more civilizations just like ours. And the human race just pretty much got sold out by these elites. And now the war is on with the real Confederation of Planets, and now there's going to be a whole big thing with the founders of this galaxy, the true Lyran Elohim beings, Pleiadians, real ancient dragon beings, and high Assyrian Council and Lecturian Councils and different high council orders. It's the fake Federation and Ashtar Command and Darkfleet versus the true Confederation of Planets and the original founder races. Also, there's going to be sentinel races, transformers, yeah, and they're on our side. There's real transformer, metallic conscious beings that are here present. They're also going to be part of this war now. So now we're in it. This is Star Wars manifested. The real truth.